I am Zola, the daughter of Vilna-born Xavier Piatka and Chayela Rosenthal. Surviving the camps that included Kaiserwald, Burggraben, Stutthof, and the Death March to the Baltic Sea, they were both liberated in March 1945. My father found my mother in an abandoned house and he nursed her back to health from the deadly typhoid fever. And that's where their romance began, and they were married in Paris a few years later. My mom was a singer and a Yiddish actress, and she joined a Yiddish theatre group that brought them both to Cape Town, South Africa, which she thought was paradise. And so these two brave souls started over with nothing, no family, no friends. But both my parents were never afraid of hard work. And no matter how hard their circumstances, they always made a plan. They did the best that they could, and always with a smile and a positive attitude. As a young child, I was definitely aware that my parents were different. They were much older than all my other parents' friends. They spoke English with a very thick foreign accent. They spoke Yiddish most of the time. And they had also tragically lost so many of their friends and their family. My mom was also different from other friends, firstly because she kept her maiden name and because she was a celebrity. She was in show business. She was a singer, a recording artist, an actress and comedian. She performed on TV and on stages all around the world, including on Broadway. She was there for quite a few months when I was 3 and also when I was 10. The joys of life were clearly something that she celebrated whenever possible. Our home life was different too. Firstly, it was very noisy. There were many outbursts of glorious singing, heated arguments of very loud laughter, and even louder sneezing. My father was known for his dramatic build-up to many, many sneezes after he had a good meal. And also his radio broadcasts were on the hour, every hour, news from all around the world. Mom rehearsing her parts out loud, and the piano filling all the silences, including a little shout from another room that would go, "Wrong note!" That was mother on a regular occasion. Our home was also a constant flow of visitors coming and going. It was open to all races, all genders, gay, straight, black, white, colored, all ages, and all were treated equally. They were always welcome to dine, to dance, to stay over, often illegally because of apartheid. But the key here was that my parents instilled in us that basic human right. Tolerance and equality was a given, and you always had to remember that. Even our domestic worker was treated like a daughter, and she's still very, very much my other mama, still in my life today. Our home was also a home where many other survivors came over and got together to share their life stories, to support each other. And these were all members of the Sherita Pleita, which was a group that my father helped form. I remember all their voices, all their tears, all their simchas, and their beautiful hugs, because these survivors and their children were our extended family. So my mom, she could not cook and her driving was not good, but she was an excellent bridge player. And I loved when she would come home. I knew if she'd won because she would be skipping and dancing around the house, singing and cheering very loudly like a child. I also loved that she bought a lot of her clothes at the maternity shop because of her round tummy. Everybody loved and adored my mom. She was warm and loving and bubbly. And I used to cringe when she used to kiss and schmotchka and pinch the cheeks of my friends. I was very proud of her with her strong sense of fairness and justice because she would fiercely defend people who had been wronged. Her strength and resilience was greatly admired. As a young teenager, she was known as the Wunderkind of the Vilna ghetto for her courage and her singing despite the pain and suffering. And even in the end, her motto was, "The show must go on." Through her cancer treatments At the age of 54, she continued to perform her ultimate Yiddish mama role as Golda in Fiddler on the Roof, passing away just days after that show ended its run. Now, my dad, who was born Israel Houghton, whose name changed to Xavier Piatka, he was quite the character. He was charming, charismatic. Many people were afraid of him because he could be very stern and strict and severe, but he was really gentle and sensitive, and he cried in the movies and especially at TV award shows. Unlike my mom, he did not care what people thought about him or how he looked. In fact, the weirder he dressed, the better. White shoes, red pants, mustard sweater, cowboy hat, and in his 60s and 70s, very proud of his long-haired ponytail. Both my parents had a very strong work ethic, which they passed on to us, and they also instilled in us we must always try and help people in need. Whether it be emotional, physical, financial, we must be there to help others. I was most proud of my dad because of how he treated people. He was the same kind of friendly to and inclusive of everyone equally, from the doctor or the professor, down to the garage attendant, to the beggar in the street, to the cashier at the bank, and often greeting those garage attendants even in their mother tongue. He treated everybody the same, with kindness, respect, and interest. He taught me to listen, to be curious about people's lives, and to be aware that they had feelings too. He would say, "You never know what a person has going on in his life or if he is suffering. Be kind, be patient, and really listen when they talk." Despite what he went through, he harbored no hate, not even towards the Germans. And when speaking of the Holocaust, he would always end off with, "Forgive, but do not forget." I will continue to honor my parents' legacy and their lives by telling their stories to their grandchildren, to their great-grandchildren, and to sharing Holocaust history, and by treating friends and strangers with respect and kindness, and by continuing to share music and love with the world.